My parents have always loved my sister more than me. It's pretty evident, it's not a mystery, it's right there in the open. So one day, when my father decides to make a life-altering decision that's going to affect my path growing up forever, well, I just had to say something. Luck is something that really means it favors the best and works against the worst. And unfortunately, I'm on the other side. Yes, a little less lucky because it seems like my sister, well, let's call her Luna, she had all the luck in life, including mine as well because she's everyone's favorite, and I felt like a stepdaughter to my bio parents. Sorry for the exaggeration, but yeah, I was being ignored to the extent that I went to great lengths as a child whenever I felt desperate for it. Once, I hid in the house to prank my parents. I remained hidden for so many hours, so I needed to rush to the restroom. And after that, I gave up while looking at them, paying attention to Luna. My parents are super busy people and damn rich. Dad owns a big business managing his financial stocks, investments, etc., and Mom is busy juggling managing relationships for public images and other charities or social events, and on the other hand, managing household staffs, etc. So, talking about Luna, it's easy for you to guess that she must have been raised as an absolute brat. She was boasted about and celebrated for every small accomplishment that she led to the skyrocketing of her self-esteem. Well, it's not that she was undeserving, but since she has been served everything on a silver platter, how could we be so sure about her capabilities? I'm not jealous or trying to claim that she's bad or below average, on the contraire. She has potential, and she does it well, but not more than me. And I don't want to come across as arrogant or anything exaggerating, but I knew I had a track record of performing better than her, and I'm just fortunate enough to be able to thank my genes from my father's lineage. At least this thing is something that I take pride in without caring if my parents do. As a result, I finally made it to Harvard, and I'd like to give some credit to my hard work as well. I love how the economy works, big business ventures, crack deals, etc. I just can't wait to join Dad's business as soon as I get my degree. Till then, I really enjoyed learning new concepts. Mom and Dad cheer while I was handed my master's degree. It was a proud moment for me. And my parents threw a small brunch party for me to celebrate my achievement. But all my joy faded when Luna's results were announced. She only cleared her degree with an average GPA from some local university, and Dad was overjoyed. She only managed to pass, and that too for just graduation. Then why did he buy her so many presents, throw a lavish party, and could not get enough of talking about Luna? I could not hold my tongue, so I asked him, why was Luna's result such a big deal? I know that you must be wondering why I'm being so mean and jealous, and I'm just looking down upon her achievements. Of course not. I do appreciate her work. But at least it should be deserving enough for such treatment to go both ways. So I could not ignore the truth because Dad was clearly overreacting. It didn't seem like it was worth it. Dad reasoned that he had already expected me to do great, but he did not expect, well, that much from Luna. That's why he celebrates her achievement with more extravagance so that she doesn't feel that she's less deserving? What kind of logic is that? Can you guys understand what he meant? Because I could not. Anyways, since our college was over, she was just hanging out with friends and going out with Mom to social events and parties, and she had no plans to apply for work. Luna, who obviously hates to listen to somebody's orders, was the one who could keep our entire housekeeping staff under her toes. Her wish was considered a command, and this was obviously demeaning for her to work. She already cringes at the thought of referring to herself as an employee, and I, on the other hand, have already gotten too many placement offers and called for interviews, but I've not decided to join any of them yet. Because just like Luna, Dad also despised the idea of me being employed under someone, so I asked Father to hire me as his assistant to gain experience as a beginner. One day, I had an important meeting. It was a big day for me to impress the investors, and I've been working tirelessly for 2 weeks to pull this off. But on that day, just before my meeting, I get a call from Luna, stating that it was an emergency and I had to come as soon as possible. I tried asking her what's wrong, but she said she didn't have time to explain. I rushed as fast as I could, and I found that she was confused about which dress to pick for her event tonight. And she has only 10 minutes to get ready. I could not believe she called me from the meeting for this ridiculous thing. I thought she was kidding, but she confirmed it wasn't because her stylist had booked it at last minute. I mean, that was a big deal. I tried to confirm if she was sure that it was an emergency because I'd already started fuming in anger, and she gave me this deadly serious stare. Talking about how paps are going to be around and many important people. Important in her definition were some fashion model and her friends. She was explaining how her picture will be on page 3 of the newspapers, and she cannot compromise on her looks when fashion designers will also be judging her, you know. I could not stand her, and screamed to call Mom and complain to her about what her dearest daughter had just done to me. Mom, of course, sided with her, said that I'm older and should act like one. According to her, I'm responsible for taking care of her, and Luna smirked at me and went inside to the restroom, telling me to select the dresses until then, and I could not control my outrage and started ruining her makeup products. I broke all the palettes, lipsticks, concealers, everything. You know, the stuff that was broken, I sprawled across the floor. Hearing the noises, she started yelling my name and started pulling my hair, and I hit her just a few times, and we did have a big fight where Mom had to call her servants. Well, at least 5 people were required to pull us apart and stop us from ripping each other to shreds. She scratched and attacked me, and I gave her a blue eye, so it was a draw. She was being consoled and comforted by Mom, and she started scolding me, telling me that she would complain to Dad. I left the house without listening, and since I took my first aid, I went back to the office to feel better. I spent the day worrying about how I would confront Dad at home. Then I saw the investors arriving and apologizing. The secretary told me that their flights were delayed, so they have just now arrived. I was glad to find them and left no stone unturned to make an impression on them and crack this deal. I was a little nervous, but after reaching home, I tried to sneak quietly to my room. But everyone was waiting, and Luna, sulking and my parents siding with her, tried to explain that how I behaved was really mean and could not be justified under any circumstances, so now I revert back, saying how Luna had called me in the middle of the meeting and that was so important. Dad went silent and stuck into a dilemma. Luna tried to stress the fact that I'd ruined almost $80,000 worth of makeup that she owned. In my justification, I said that's the deal's worth would be more than $8 billion if it were not successful. Dad's mood was suddenly uplifted as he was about to begin his lecture. He smiled and congratulated me for cracking the deal. And unfortunately, Luna was sidelined for today. Luna starts acting like a teenager, saying that since I started working, I've been looking down upon her and flattering myself. She could even perform better than me? Dad just left, giving me a warning, and Luna sulked even more. She followed Dad, and I thought that she must be asking for something, as usual. On the day of her birthday, it's obvious that it had been grand. Dad invited everyone, including his business associates, investors, important employees, you name it. So as we were busy celebrating Luna's birthday, he made an announcement, which stunned me. He announced that he was going to hand over the company to Luna. The drink glasses almost slipped from my hand. I could not believe my ears. Did he say Luna? Like, really? How come he thought of doing something so stupid? When I saw Luna coming to the stage to say thank you and everybody clapping to welcome her, well, it hit me that she went to Dad's office just to talk to him. Leave aside Luna, how come Dad could agree to do something so stupid? When I questioned Father, he assumed that I would help Luna learn. But I said working under somebody would help her learn, not from an assistant. But I did not want to argue about it, and I declared that I had a life of my own, and that I could not devote my entire time to training Luna without having my own career. Luna will get a team of experts to teach her better than me. And with that, I declared that it's better to work at another company where I will get better bosses than Luna. I rebelled against Dad's decision, knowing how much he despised that his daughter would be working under somebody else and becoming a part of a lowly working class. And guess what? It worked. but not like I imagined it to work. Dad called me back to his office to try to negotiate, telling me he had another company. He was trying hard to raise points and profits, but it was going through continuous losses, and he'll hand over the company to me as he wants my help and knows that I won't disappoint him. Unlike mine, I complained about why he had given his profitable business to Luna. His advice left me confused, and I could not object to his decision. He said an easy task could be handed to anyone, but a challenging one will prove who's better. He knew that I loved a challenge, and with that, he had already played well by his words and successfully handed me over to the company, which had hardly any profits and a small scope of progress. So I took it. Update number 1. Hey guys, you know how karma flips the sides and makes luck fall short when karma shows its true colors, right? Luna got quite competitive since she could not bear the fact that the moment I cracked the deal of the day of our fight, she took that personally and made it a whole new level of vendetta. On the day when the company celebrated her billions of worth of turnover, where mine could barely make it to touch $1 million, I know the result doesn't sound good, but it's raised over 30% in profit, which was quite a good performance, and for that I tried my best to come up with incentives that would motivate my employers to give their best output. You know that when companies have better relationship between boss and employee, we can address them personally and just retain them for longer periods of time. So yeah, all in all, it was actually a little blessing in disguise to know how to run a company almost from scratch. And there was Luna. It was obvious that the company she was handed was almost running in automated mode, where experts in every field were already working, and the staff that Dad recruited was also quite old and knew the job inside and out. Luna hardly had to do anything apart from making a few signatures, and that too with the help of her advisor. She hardly does anything by herself. Though the company's getting profits, but she doesn't know how to expand it further or take probable risk. So anyways, back to the point. It's been quite a while, and you know the results take time to conclude whether the company's doing well or not. But Luna doesn't understand such things. On the day her company got a turnover, though it sounded amazing, it wasn't. If we note under what conditions the company was already in when she owned it, but as my parents have made her the habit of flattering her on average or below average performance, this time she repeated the same thing but in a more outrageous and permissible way. And this is how she did it. So, I get a call from a client who liked to work with us. Since he's been Dad's most trusted client for a very long time, and ever since he heard of our company from Dad, he's always thought of approaching us. However, since his requirements were unique, because they were complementary to the demands of Luna's company's production and my services, he thought of referring to the both at once. Let me tell you, Dad has opened 2 different companies, right? And when he realized that complementary demands in the market were rising, he also thought of opening a second one. But that didn't really work out, so he focused on what he already had. So coming back to the point, the client wants our companies to work together for him, and obviously he was not wrong about assuming that working together cannot be a problem. After all, we belong to the same family. Wow. I doubted Luna, but then I realized that she was not making her company fall to losses. She could be professional enough just to not let grudges come in our way. And guess what? I was wrong because she has not changed a bit, and this was my biggest mistake. On the day of the meeting, all the agreements were made. All important members of both companies came to the table to express their working strategies and vision for the project, and Luna, like a typical arrogant boss, arrived late and seemed uninterested when it was our turn. When we were done, she came up with her own PowerPoint presentation, and I was baffled to see that she made memes to explain and elaborate on why she did not want to work with us. The way that she expressed that was quite offensive because she has demanded my company policies and made fun of my work culture and our vision. I lost all my professionalism as I was on the verge of tears about how much she embarrassed me and my teammate. Not only that, she also suggested a few names of top working companies that could offer the services that the client wants that are more successful and have more brand value. I could not stand such humiliation. along with the cost of losing our important client, was a big blow to my self-esteem and the company, so I excused myself and I left the room. The client mailed us an apology for the embarrassment caused by Luna and informed us about his decision, which he changed because of Luna. At home, I saw that, Luna get an invitation to attend the business awards function this year, and she was savoring the moment of my demise. She knocked at my door with 4 dresses in her hand, asking me to decide which one she should wear for the special day. At that moment, I swore to myself that she would be the one helping to choose the dress for me next year. But I didn't have to wait long, because a week after that meeting, my client got into an argument since the recommended company was trying to charge them more than the relevant cost for the project, and it was keeping too many conditions for him. When I received the request from my client to take over the project, along with the reason stated for the dismissal of the previous proposal, Luna's company behaved no better than the company that they are currently dealing with. Having the complete upper hand, I put forth my conditions this time, and they understood that we would not work with Luna's company. I also told them to circulate the news to the business award function nominees about her unprofessional behavior during the meeting. This news greatly affected Luna when I saw her create drama at home over the cancellation of her participation this year. Apart from this, it was the best deal I could have, because that was the turning point that saw our turnover triple the previous year, and certainly made a good impression to open 2 gates for further opportunities. What do you guys think about Luna? Is she still doing something, or am I just getting paranoid this time? Top comments from the post. Comment number 1. Congratulations on your success, OP, and talking about your sister, let me tell you, you're not paranoid at all. In fact, I'll suggest you keep a sharp eye on her, or she will not let you live in peace. If things go out of hand, never hesitate to seek legal advice, especially in such matters. Many provisions could go against her if she doesn't follow the rules. Her company can be sealed or banned because of her practice, and your dad should be more than words about her than he seemed to be, because her stupidity can literally ruin the years of hard work that he's built. And last but not least, never underestimate the calm before the storm. Please be aware, OP. Comments number 2. Oh, OP, your parents are such fools. Ugh, and your sister certainly inherits it. Well, your dad was keeping you in delusion and taking advantage of your talent to make you work there when you were hardly getting any scope for growth. And I do not trust him. If by any chance you would be able to make it work, he could take back his company and just give it to your sister. Your dad has raised just a basic version of himself the way that he brought your sister up. You should work and stay somewhere else, otherwise you could become a total fool of your parents and your sister. I would only advise you to leave all that crap behind and start over from a new beginning. Update number 2. Hey guys, ever since the opportunities widened for me to enter the market, I worked hard to keep our company's authenticity intact. And for that, I hired a team of experts because now I could afford one to look after the several departments. My business was reaching great heights, and Dad began taking personal interest along with some credit for the right decision just to help me over his company, and how he knew and trusted my ability to pull this off. And something better, along with that, was happening to me, which is that my parents' attention slightly shifted more towards me instead of Luna. And let me tell you how that happened. As I've already told you guys, ever since her invitation was cancelled, you cannot believe that it had a greater impact than I thought, because her company's image was tarnished, according to her. She believed it to be the cause of the downfall of her business, and that might have led to a change in her behavior completely. She stopped competing for extra attention and toned down the lot. Seeing her like that, I got confused about what was going on in her mind. And one day, Dad asked about how her business was during dinner. She hesitated a bit, then said it was not going well, but they convinced the investors to stay, and Dad did not ask her much since stocks did not seem to fall. He only asked about the latest updates on her deal, and she hesitantly admitted that they could not make it, but everything was under control. She relied on public relations and advertising to build the company's brand value, and she excused herself because her phone started to ring. She looked quite tense while attending the phone call. But the things revealed themselves to me the day before Christmas, when she actually apologized for everything that gaped between us on the day of our meeting and whatever losses that she caused. I could not believe how she could act so nice. But I've known her since childhood, and she's never been the one to do anything without reason. She approached me in the office with a proper appointment and requested me to help her by buying the shares of her company. I saw her company records and said that the company was going through debt. She showed me the documents for me to sign to be her shareholder and help her save the company from downfall. I asked why I should help her. Why? She seemed prepared for this and said that she had a great PR team and advertising agents to help me increase my brand value as a return for the deal. I agreed to sign them after consulting a lawyer, but she insisted, saying that she did not have time because the dates for paying the debt were already delayed and she could not wait any longer. Well, I skimmed over the document, and it was not for being just the shareholder but a major shareholder. She lied about it because being the major shareholder would make me the company owner. After sensing her urgency, I signed the papers for her. She smiled and thanked me. Before leaving, she invited me to the small party that she arranged for me to celebrate and told me to arrive in time just to help her choose a dress. Of course, I would, because I was waiting to surprise her. I can't wait to give you my next update, because things are going to turn out interesting. Final update of the story. Hey guys. Yeah, you might be wondering why it took so long to update you with my latest update. Yeah, I'm doing great. In fact, thanks to my sister Luna. I know she seemed quite happy when she successfully handed over the company to me in my last update. I know you must be wondering why would I ever sign those papers, even after knowing that she was lying to me and that she was selling me her debt-ridden company. Well, here's the plot twist. But let me tell you that I'm now helping her choose the wedding dress, so this is how it went. I remember the day of our meeting when she enjoyed herself, making fun of me and canceling my deal. I was on the verge of tears, so I excused myself to return to the restroom, not wanting to confront anyone. I didn't come out for about an hour, but when I calmed myself down and came out to face the world outside, maybe I was too late because everybody was gone. I thought of returning to the conference room to recollect my handbag, but as soon as I was about to step in, I ducked behind the door at the sight of Luna threatening someone. I could only catch a glimpse of the conversation where she warned him that he should stay within his limits and do what she says, otherwise she would file charges against him for harassment at the workplace. Well, the guy sounded absolutely helpless, trying to remind her, well, what they had in between, but she got upset because she made it clear to him that he did not match her standards or belong to her class, and she could not risk her image by being out in public with him. He tried to convince her by saying that he did everything he was told to do, even though it was wrong. To make her come back into his life, and furious at his answer, she said sternly that he did it because he wanted to. He always had a choice to simply back off. Having said that, she stormed out of the room. Seeing her leave the premises, I blocked his way and asked him what she was even talking about. Well, in a shattered state, he might not be thinking straight, and he confessed absolutely everything to me, including how he used to like her so much, and she took advantage of seeing him get desperate. She made a mistake, and, well, she made him make such a PowerPoint presentation to demean my company and go against his work ethics. And now, when he asked her to marry him, she refused and said that I should not dare to spill the truth to anyone or she would sue me in the case of harassment. And it's obvious that she would win because she was rich and could afford a lawyer. Well, I was just fuming, seeing how Luna turned so evil that she could stoop so low to cancel my deal and humiliate me. It was unethical and unprofessional, but since she made it dirty, I was compelled to play by her rules. Well, swearing to myself, I gave him the handkerchief in the condition that if he did as I said, he could get revenge for the betrayal. Knowing that an enemy of an enemy is always a friend, it was easy to team up with him on my side. Since he was her accountant, I paid him to show the financial data of her company going through continuous losses and the impact would be on the investors, who would pressure Luna to save the company or else they would just pull the investments. I know Luna and how much she could handle failure and difficulties, and obviously she would believe that the client who backed off at the last minute would certainly affect the overconfidence that she's been boasting about ever since we were kids. I know the continuous downfall, since the meeting would certainly lead her to think that everything that happened was because of this meeting, though she was not entirely wrong to believe the only difference was that I made it happen. And how did she know the truth, you ask? Well, the revelation itself is really interesting. You see, the night she invited me into the office, she celebrated her success, believing she could outsmart me by getting me fooled and signing those damn papers. I didn't know what awaited me at the office, and it was really little bit easy to guess what it would be about by seeing the guests, who were mostly her acquaintance and other employees. So, she opened up a champagne bottle, and I could not understand why she got so excited about everything. Then, she held my hand to call me on stage and announced to everybody that I was the new owner of the company. Everybody seemed a bit surprised, except me. Not only that, in her overconfidence, she made a fool of herself by confessing her truth by whispering in my ear about the company that was going through losses and was in great debt. I simply laughed inside of her face. And guess who was surprised by all this? Well, I told her that I already knew. She threw her mic and dragged me behind the stage, asking what I meant by I already knew. I told her that her accountant, example, her ex-fling, already tipped me off and showed me the company's losses. Before she could ask why her accountant took over our conversation, he said that what he did was also his choice, which he learned from his mistakes, and if she tried to drag him into any false case or accusation, he would just accuse her of work ethics and unethical behavior. This time, I saw Luna leaving the party, panicked and crying because she realized that she lost the business to me. My parents are still confused about why she left the business, but they would just all believe that maybe, just maybe, Luna was taking a break from it, which they supported as they always do. I'm gonna drop the bombshell of Luna's incompetency on them soon. They should know who's better at leading a company. I would want them to understand that I am their daughter too, and they can't be biased towards my sister all the time. Final comments on the last post. Comment number 1 states this. Kudos, OP. You finally took everything from her and gave her what she deserved the most, a lesson for a lifetime. This was the best way to teach someone a lesson, especially when they cross their limits to compete. And talking of your parents, maybe, after some time, they would start appreciating your hard work and how you took over their business and now just makes you the center of the attention that you always starved for, though your karma's finally sidelined your luck that you always blamed. I wish you a lot of luck in your new beginning. Comment number 2. Congrats, OP, for making a fool of your sister, and now you finally got another company as well. But you should stop blaming your luck every time because so many coincidences worked in your favor. I mean, the clients came back to you, you were bumping into people at crucial times that you really needed. You just took the opportunity and turned it into your favor. That deserves a bit of credit apart from your so-called hard work. And talking about your parents, even though they're happy now with you, what makes you think that this is going to last forever? Sooner or later, their priorities will probably shift back to your sister. Anyways, good luck.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think OP's sister deserved to lose this business because she never deserved the business in the first place. Like OP stated from the beginning, the sister Luna was just absolutely treated with a silver platter, and she was not fit to be running such a high-level company. And then they gave the scraps to OP, which was a company barely making any profit, and she still managed to turn that around. I just want to know your thoughts about this story, guys, because this one did have a lot of family drama involved inside of it. I don't know, maybe you've been in a situation like Layla, which was today's OP. If you have, let me know about it in the comment section down below.
Guys, my name's Mr. Reddito, and I narrate stories every single day. So if you want to be a part of these daily videos, all you have to do is subscribe. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, and just remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.